Hello there, welcome to the People's Parliament. We are still in WAKISO talking about private sector engagement for youth employment. Well, last week we had a couple of youth from the East Africa Youth Inclusion Project talking about some of the challenges plaguing them as they try to execute their activities in agribusiness. Yes, we also had some of the recommendations that came in from the Country Director here for International, Mr. Matovu William. And today we are going to be unpacking some of the issues at hand at the district level. Yes, last week we did not talk about what is happening at the district level. The officers, the local officers at the district level, what challenges are plaguing them as they try to advance support to the young people within WAKISO. Let's hear it from Luwula Geoffrey, one of the production officers within WAKISO. I remember the theme today still stands, private sector engagement for youth employment. You're trying to offer linkages between the private sector actors and the young people within WAKISO. Michael Luwula, the production officer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable delegates present in this People's Parliament. I am Michael Luwula. I am the District Production Officer WAKISO. And the theme, which is on now, falls well in my department because most of the talking now is ending hunger, ending poverty. And the youth, the biggest area where we can engage them is agriculture, the section which I coordinate. When we talk of agriculture, that's where we have the crops, we have the animals, we have fish, we have entomology, those are the bees and sericulture. However, many things were talked about in the last Parliament, Mr. Speaker, and I have to bring out some issues here. For example, the issue of the youth not being so keen with agriculture. This issue is a big problem to us also because the youth want things, very fast things, and agriculture is a process. In fact, many times you find that many NGOs start a project and it's a 5-year project. By the time the youth internalize the concept, then the project is ending. So now the first challenge is once an NGO starts a project and they don't work well with our extension officers, now they end the project, and then everything ends there. So the youth stay at a crossroad, no continuation. So in coordination, I would wish to see that if an NGO is in agriculture, the first point of interface would be the production office, so that we move together and we help them. Or else normally projects come and, many projects now are targeting the youth, and many projects are targeting the youth on the concept of agriculture. Mr. Speaker, sir, now we are handling agriculture with our approach of value chain development. When we talk of value chain, one may ask, where are we the youth? Now, when we say dairy, we look at the value chain. Value chain starts from where you start rearing the actual animal, the inputs, where are they coming from? Who is transporting them to your farm? That's a value chain. And you reach the farm. People are going to work on the farm. People are going to supply the feeds. So we try to see who are the actors in the value chain. And here we cannot say what program is for the youth. Every program that we have in agriculture, there's a component where the youth can come in. Mr. Speaker, sir, so the youth have to see that they fit in that component where it is. As in WAKISO, production department, given the fact that we have limited land, we are urbanizing. In actual fact, most of our producers, they produce from between quarter an acre to an acre. And then that's the first level. The second level, those are the 1 acre to 2 acres. We have very few who go 5 acres and above. However, we are just lucky. This I have told the youth, that the market is at the doorstep. In actual fact, in WAKISO, we produce maize, and most of our people produce maize on quarter an acre. But by the virtue that they are going to sell that maize when it is fresh, they get more money than someone who has 2 acres. Because for us, we sell, immediately you get your maize, we sell it. So,
okay, Mr. Michael Obula, you can wrap up in a minute. We are running out of time.
Okay, thank you. Therefore, I would say that let's take up these opportunities to see that we get the market which is nearby us, and let's take up these opportunities to see that we get money from the small acreage of land. And our priorities in WAKISO district is piggery, poultry, dairy, horticulture, fish farming, because those are the items which we can raise.
About mushrooms, and he said most of the extension officers in WAKISO don't have any knowledge about mushroom growing. Yeah. What do you have to say about that? In a nutshell, 40 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And that's the issue which I said, whereby there's a gap between NGOs and the department, that when you bring in a program, let us know it, because I have other people who can, you may find that the staff I have for mushroom is in Chengera, and you are in Namayumba. Therefore, because I didn't know what you're doing, I could not mobilize that staff to help you. So that's the connection.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael Obula, the production officer for WAKISO district. You've been very helpful. Let me also bring in Mr. Chejusa John, the district community development officer for WAKISO district. Mr. Chejusa John. So Mr. Michael Obula says if these events are to be effective, there is need to notify his office before you execute. And I think that went to Mr. Matov William, the country director for HEFA International. Notify Mr. Michael Obula about the programs so that he can notify his extension officers, or even give them some kind of research on that same point right there. Mr. John Chejusa, the district community development officer, share with us.
Thank you, Speaker. I have some recommendations, but they go to different categories. To HEFA and other partners, I highly recommend that we plan with the youth, and we don't just plan for them. If you plan for the youth, by the time you bring them on board, the project is almost what? Ending. So can we plan with them? Secondly, can we empower the youth? We have heard about the loans in the Post Bank. We look at the loans which you are offering at the district. Can we empower the youth to take part in the supply chain? Maybe it can be a solution to the fake what? Inputs. Let me hope when they get involved, they will not be absorbed because of what is in the market. Thirdly, can we emphasize skilling? I thank HEFA so much because it has emphasized what? Skilling of the what? Of the youth. The youth, let us be positive. Let us be positive. Without skills, you are not heading anywhere. Recommendation to government. Can we try to address the drastic climate changes that are affecting what? Affecting agriculture. Then to the youth, can we have a positive mind? Can we change? Let's not continue looking at agriculture as a dirty job, because right now it's agriculture which can bring food on your what? On your table. Then we have challenges here and there. They talked about the issue of the bureaucracies. What is it that is pushing them away from engaging in what? In agriculture. Yet it is the only sustainable employment anybody can get involved in. Then can we introduce incentives for them to get involved in what? In agriculture. By doing so, we shall be addressing the youth what? Unemployment, and enticing them to get involved in what? In agriculture. Thank you very much.
Let me also bring in two youth from the East Africa Youth Inclusion Project.
We had a big challenge of capital as the youth, but my recommendation goes to the community development officers because they're responsible for giving out the government funds. One of the reasons that could work for the youth is to put a recommendation, the VSIDA, the Village Saving Association, if it could be one of the recommendations for the youth groups to receive funds, I think when we put it in position, we could go ahead and make more capital for the youth. Because if the youth save from the village section, each youth saves 10,000 shillings, at least per week. When you calculate, you can make up a good sum of capital, and the youth can begin from there. Thank you, Speaker.
I'm Alexis Ivan from Kachiri Masulita, a cooperative that is youth-led, and it is found in Masulita town, WAKISO district. I am the cooperative manager. We deal basically in 3 commodities, that is piggery, poultry, and maize. But we have challenges, as the first parliament was discussing about these challenges. Yes. But we have a challenge of capital, like as he said, but through the trainings that we've had from HEIFA. As a cooperative, we started up a scheme saying saving and credit scheme, looking at our business partner that we've been having on board as Postbank. Postbank is leaving with the project. Can we have these financial institutions also dealing directly with the cooperatives? Because we think we've been trained in these skills. Even other stakeholders, another challenge, right, Honourable Speaker, is trust. Some big private sectors, they have not built that trust in dealing directly with the youth cooperatives. They prefer the other old cooperatives.
We are going to get the experience of a Postbank Uganda working with you, so don't worry. We do have Onen Joffrey, Mr. Onen Joffrey from Postbank. Yes, Mr. Onen, share with us your experience with working with young people in WAKISO.
Actually, working with the youth has been the best experience we have had as Postbank. When we started this partnership with the HEIFA, original idea was that, actually the idea is we are supposed to handle youth from 15 years, between 15 and 24 years old. And you can look at that age bracket, it's a bit young. But of course, legally, we can't lend to someone who's 15 years old, so we start from 18, between 18 and 24. So far, in WAKISO, we have lent to about 400, to about 500.
Welcome back, and many thanks for staying with us right here on NTV Uganda. We are still in WAKISO, talking to the young people within this district who are grappling with various challenges that are stopping some from joining agriculture. And those who have already joined are grappling with many challenges that have actually forced many to opt out of the agribusiness sector. We would like to hear from the youth that are engaged in the East Africa Youth Inclusion Program, and I'd like to hear from you in my audience. Do we have any youth that would want to participate and talk about some of the other issues plaguing the youth? Which you can raise your hand. I'll just choose. Raise your hand. Yes, young lady, you come. So the theme for today's debate is private sector engagement for youth employment. We are trying to offer linkages between the private sector actors and these young people so that they can get to improve their lives. Your name, please, and the challenges.
All right, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I recognize your presence, all of you. My name is Sarah Winfred from Chisui Hub. I'm a youth in Young Mind group from Webaja, and my issue is on identity cards, national identity cards. In our group, we are greatly affected by this issue of national IDs. Remember, the national constitution starts from 18 years to register and get the national ID. Yet in HEIFA, we have the age group of 15 to 18, from 18 to 24 and on. Yet most of our youths are not yet 18. And every year, they are growing, they are coming to 18, they are coming to 19. Yet registration for IDs ended a long time. And I'm calling upon the government at least to bring back registration so that these youths who are growing from 15 to on can as well acquire identity cards.
Thank you very much. That is Sarah Winnie. She's saying lack of IDs has made it impossible for young people to access these government programs. Another young person? Yes, at the back. Maybe for purposes of reiteration, today we are holding this debate under the theme Private Sector Engagement for Youth Employment. How best can we offer linkages to these young people to actually connect with the private sector actors who are in our audience today to offer some advice on how best our young people can improve their lives. Your name and the challenges.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker of this audience. I'm here on this floor as Mugisha Robert, and I'm coming from the Kisubi Hub Cooperative. The one challenge I want to address so that the private sector can come in is one, that really we as the youth, they normally say that we normally be reluctant of being involved in agriculture section. But most cases, and those few whom we have entered in, we find sometimes that we get problems, such as the poor quality of breeds. Actually, those ones does not need this to say that the youth should first go somewhere, but even the little we could go and then we start doing it as we can, should be, and also the government looking that they should not look on the side of the elders who has the big potential, the potential, but and also the youth who are starting the small ones. They can also look.
Mr. Michael Obulwa, the production officer, shall address that. Another issue? Only that? Okay, thank you very much. Another young person? You? Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Musa Kasozi. I work with Youth After School Initiative, Uganda chapter, a national non-government organization operating countrywide in the country with an office in WAKISO district. I thank MasterCard Foundation and Heifa International, Uganda, for supporting young people in this country, especially in WAKISO district, where we work with Heifa International. We partner with Heifa International to handle policy issues, youth and policy issues. One of the challenges when it comes to youth and policy, youth are not aware of the processes, the systems, and the government needs to do much to make youth aware of what they should do. Yes, these policies are there. For example, you've had challenges like Youth Livelihood Program. A program is brought and just dropped to the youth. If the district officials have been here crying that they are not involved at one level, how about the beneficiaries at another level? You know, so a program comes and nobody seems to be exactly aware of what's going on. Not only the youth, not so conversant with the policy issues, including the district, the local government officials in some areas, not pinning the DCDO who is here, but some of his staff in the sub-counties. You reach a community development officer, you want information about a Miyoga, a new program, and someone tells you, by the way, we haven't also been sensitized enough, but they are telling youth, come and benefit from the programs. If you, someone who is claiming to support the youth, yourself, you don't understand clearly, actually, what you want to support. How about the beneficiaries themselves? So we are in a paradoxical situation in which those who are supposed to help, to give a helping hand, seem themselves not to be so conversant with the issues at hand themselves. It's clear that the economic substructure determines the ideological superstructure. If we want youth to do anything, let it be participation, let's empower them economically. If youth are not empowered enough, we are likely to see more younger people getting disadvantaged, but also, as a country, not achieving the national development, the National Development Plan 3 as we failed to achieve the National Development Plan 2 because youth were not involved in it.
Thank you very much, Musa. Great submission, ladies and gentlemen, from Musa. Maybe we can get one last young person to tell us some of the challenges they have encountered while trying to veer into agriculture.
Thank you, Right Honorable, members in the House. Fred Zwa is my name. We are dealing in agriculture, and when we talk about agriculture, we are not talking about all in the farm, in the garden. We have a problem of standards are being certified. We youths, we do small businesses whereby we do not have enough money to get those to be certified on that issue. Since then, because we have to be certified in order to sell our products. When we sell products which are not certified, they will just take us to prison. So we are calling up the government. If it is possible, the youths who are doing in entrepreneurship, not to pay the money for being satisfied. Because I know the government has the money to do that. With a startup, they can help us, or they can, because we cannot line up with people, the big investors who has a lot of money. Thank you.
So certification is
yes, and the second thing is marketing. Marketing is the issue in youths. Since we do have little money, we cannot
market to sell the produce, or marketing of the produce itself.
Marketing of our products. I would love to talk about media. Media is a bit expensive, and we don't have that money to. If any private sector can help us.
All right, they are in our midst, and they're going to do that. They're going to be offering some of the recommendations that they have, but in a bid to counter what some of the challenges the young people were raising, let's have Mr. Michael Obula, the production officer, to just counter that in a minute or two. Then I shall have the district community development officer, Mr. Chejusa, to also counter that. That's 4 minutes for both of you.
Mr. Speaker, first I have to make some clarification on the past presentation. The first one was the local youth, who is operating at a local level. And in fact, in the department, we have a program whereby we said, let's make inputs which are affordable to the local youth. And the chairman who was here proposed that let's rejuvenate the issue of them rearing local birds. So we are going to start a program whereby we give out local birds, and then we also program that let's not give chicks, let's give birds which are post-brooder, at least 2 months post-brooder, so that they can be easily handled. So that's a program to be handled. Then the other issue which has just come up of the standards, certification. And this one I would recommend that farmers, youth, if you are in the same enterprise, the issue is to make them into one cooperative. Because market, one day someone told me that I want an item, and I want 10 tons per month. So most markets want consistent supply. If you are a single person, you cannot sustain a market, you will not get a market. Because they want consistent supply of a given quantity of an item. So the issue of cooperating is something which we should think of most. And these are the other local approaches. Everyone has talked about the attitude.
If you can exhaust those in a minute.
Yeah, in a minute I can do that. Attitude. So we are having a strategy whereby we promote school gardening. Let's start the eating from the schools so that they start appreciating it. So school gardening and putting this item into the curriculum of the schools. The other issue is effective communication of extension services. And the youth, normally we go to teach farmers, their dads. These youth are not there, they are in the town centers. So the other approach we are thinking is to use documentaries. So that now these people want to see visuals. So let's think of using documentaries. We get a documentary, this is a successful farmer, so we get a documentary, we find them in their
practical approach. Exactly. You have 40 seconds, Mr. Michael.
Then the other issue is we want to promote model farmers. Model farmers, we have few staffs well, but if you have a model farmer, that would be a training point. That would be a center of excellence, whereby even if we are not there, the model, at least we've created someone who can do the first aid when the staff is not there. And finally, we have agricultural financing. And this issue is not known to the people. So I was proposing that this issue of agricultural financing should come down so that people come to know about it. Others, it's not easy to access agricultural.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Michael Obula. He also compounded on the same issue the young people were raising, poor awareness about the government programs. Mr. Chejusa John, you have 2 minutes to also tell us what is being done to help these young people. They do not have any marketing strategies or even the tools which are so expensive, like the media. How are you helping them?
Okay, thank you so much, Speaker. I want to talk about 3 issues which have been mentioned by the youth as some of the issues which are affecting them in accessing government programs. One of them was national IDs, that they are growing every day. They want to register, but as if registration ended. I want to use this platform to inform you that registration is ongoing. Leave alone, I think it was last week when this office in WAKISO was closed because of COVID-19. Let's take opportunities. Let's take advantage of opportunities when they bring these people nearer to our villages and make sure that we do what? We register and get national IDs. Then I feel sorry about those ones who went to the CDOs and the CDOs were not informed about the Emyoga program. This is a new initiative by the government. And sensitization is ongoing. We have leaflets in my office. Then programs are on radio and they also on TV. Peak interest. Even when you visit, most of the youth have smartphones. You can Google and get more information on on Emyoga program. Then lastly, government has a budget for skilling the youth. But when you talk about funding youth programs, the youth will tell you that we are not interested in that money for skills. We have enough skills. Just give us money for what? For projects. And when they dive into the projects, they don't live to celebrate their first birthday.
Mr. Chejusa, on the issue of marketing, can you address Mr. Fred right there? They have the produce, but they do not have the marketing tools, which are expensive. How is government helping them?
Okay, on the issue of marketing, we are working closely with the commercial officer to ensure that the youth invest in the products which already have
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chejusa. Mr. Chejusa John, thank you very much. He's the District Community Development Officer. Right, we shall engage into that conversation after we come back. After this very short break. You're still watching the People's Parliament, the Youth Debate Edition. We are talking about how best to link young people to the private sector actors and other local government officials who will help them at the national level to improve their lives through job creation and entrepreneurship opportunities. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more of this conversation. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us right here on NTV Uganda. We are still in WAKISO, trying to talk to the young people within this area who are grappling with many challenges as they try to veer into agribusiness sector. Let's hear it from the private sector actors, some of whom are already in our midst among the members of the audience. We have Kalanzi Godfrey from ZAPTA. You can make your way to the podium and talk about the experience that you've encountered with these young people while executing your mandate. Mr. Kalanzi Godfrey, share with us your experience and then offer recommendations all the same.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you everybody here who has participated. I've been hearing the challenges that youths face. So I'm here submitting my recommendation is for the youths. You need to be exposed to all those opportunities that are along the value chains. The production chains I'm talking about is in crops and animal. So we are facing challenges with extension, but there are other opportunities you can identify as groups that you can do you can do extension to the actors. Like I can give an example. Right now in towns like we have in WAKISO, there's animal production. People are pushing to zero grazing. So they are facing that challenge of feeds. So you might find those youths that are down there, because when we are talking of the youths that are unemployed, we talk of those who are educated. But we forget those that are not educated. There are some primary dropouts, we have the secondary dropouts. But when we talk of unemployment in youths, we talk of only those who are educated. But there are many opportunities they can tap in. So the associations here for the youths, please go back. You identify the opportunities youths that can tap in, the agribusiness opportunities. Because the youths are called the money now. So even if you sensitize the youths that there is this program, you can benefit, but you don't show them where they can get money, they will not participate. So you go back, identify all those opportunities they can tap in, but they should be economical. Like in Zapta, we have tried to expose the youths to all the opportunities along the value chains. We look for the model projects and even the model farmers. We take the youths to visit them. So when they come back, they tap in those opportunities. So they support and do business in doing those opportunities. So that is my submission.
Kalanzi Geoffrey, I'm so happy that you exhausted your 2 minutes without entering our time. Thank you very much, Kalanzi Geoffrey, for being so precise and concise in that manner. Let's also hear it from Mark Makumbi George William from Bugema University. Mark Makumbi George William from Bugema University. The theme for this debate today is actually private sector engagement for youth employment. Private sector engagement for youth employment. So Bugema University, what has been your experience working with young people, especially those in WAKISO?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm Mark Makumbi George William, and I work as the registrar of Bugema University Vocational School.
All right, sir.
It's under Bugema University. We've been working with these youth, and for 2 years, I think. But generally, we found out very many experiences and challenges that these youth have. But generally, I had some recommendations also. As a
Please go ahead.
sector.
I believe you've already exhausted 1 minute.
Yes. One of the recommendation is just giving advice or teaching these youth, and that is my request is having some talk shows and at a subsidized price. Let me say on NTV or any radio, so that these people can change their attitude from having the soft skills to the hard skills. And also, the private sector should also be involved in the formulation of the training policies that can meet the market demand. Another recommendation is also providing internship and also on-the-job training, and also monitoring the results. It should not only stop at giving internships, but also monitoring the results so that we find out whether the problems have gotten solutions.
Okay, thank you very much, Mark Makumbi George William from Bugema University. I would like to take this opportunity to also invite Tusasirwe John, the CEO of Trafford. Tusasirwe John, the CEO of Trafford. Share with us your experience working with young people in agribusiness, and what are their challenges and recommendations all the same. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker of today's Parliament. My name is Tusasirwe John. I'm the CEO of Trafford. Trafford is an agribusiness company. We specifically deal in skilling, that is in climate smart agriculture, that is in climate change, mitigation, and adaptability. We also look at agro-input sourcing, procurement, and supply. We also deal in trading and marketing of produce. I'll be brief.
Go ahead.
I will talk as a businessman. And I would like to have the youth also look at business first. Before I engage the youth, do I see sustainability? Am I doing a business with somebody whom I see business tomorrow? Who is looking for food today, tomorrow is nowhere? Will I put in my money, I support you, I support your group, then tomorrow you disappear? No. So before they complain, they should have trust first. Actually, money is not the problem. Money is everywhere. There is money in business, there is money in the community, but the challenge is trust.
Another issue?
There is also of course, where there is no sustainability, there is no quality. Somebody will do things the way they want because they think tomorrow they are running away. So we are looking at, are you giving me the best I want from you? Or you're just giving me grain with stones any way you want it? Because the world is changing to producing food that is better for human consumption. I will look also at dependence. There is a habit that is coming up because these youth are supported by NGOs. They are giving out handouts. They are now depending on handouts. If there is no handout, nobody will come here and talk. You might find even some of us here, there are people who have come just for the handout. So before you blame the government, you blame the private sector, first see what you want
to
as
Sir
you.
Sirwe John, the CEO
I have one, trust.
of Trafford.
Okay, I had a lot, but because of
Okay,
time.
the last one, go ahead.
The last one is, can we identify opportunities? And can we have a combined effort between the government, that is local government, the praying partners, that is the NGO, and the private partner who is looking on at business?
Ideally involve
Thank
all
you
the
very much.
partners involved, the stakeholders. Thank you very much, Mr. Tusasire John, the CEO of Trafford. At this opportune moment, I'd like to invite Chiganda Frank. He's also from Brines Development Services. Chiganda Frank, share with us your experience working with young people, their challenges and recommendations on the same.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. All protocol observed. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kaganda Nixon Magembe Francis, a co-director in Brinas Development Services Limited. It is a private company that is involved in piggery, poultry, and goat farming. That is the commercial. So we have worked with youth all over Uganda, including WAKISO district. We have provided a lot of services because in this business, we find out that for someone to gain has to know the nitty-gritty of what is in the business. So we teach from getting quality genetics, pig artificial insemination, providing business plans, also in poultry the same structures and all that. So we are experts in that. So now we have worked with the youth in many reasons, but before a youth goes into a business, first of all, they want money. The next day, they want to buy some good clothes or better things for themselves. These youths who have come to us, they ask us, where do I find the money? They are interested, they really like agriculture, but they want to know, how do I benefit from doing this? Because agriculture requires patience.
So they are looking at the short term, not the long term.
They are looking at how do they benefit, knowing that.
Amazing submission, Mr. Kaganda Nixon. Thank you very much. Let's also hear it from the CEO of Kilimo Trust, Ms. Birungi Korutaro. You had a few words that you wanted to say before we wrap up. I think after Ms. Birungi, we shall have the country director, Heifer International, and wrap this up.
Thank you very much. The CEO of Kilimo Trust, Birungi Korutaro. I'd like to address two particular issues.
Go ahead.
Markets, and reliable markets for the youth. As has already been mentioned from the private sector, they want credibility, they want reliability. And the only way that youth can do this is by working together in groups. In groups, you will reduce costs, you will build economies of scale, and can get big buyers. You just have to look at the big picture. And a processor will want 10,000 metric tons in a week. You can't do that reliably and consistently as a single farmer. The other I'd like to address is the leveraging of resources. We know government doesn't have all the money, the private sector doesn't have all the money, and the NGOs do not have all the money. But we have the same challenge. We want to get youth to be involved in agriculture, and we want to support them. I'd like to ask the local government to find a mechanism in which they can provide reliable information on what programs are happening within the district and who we can support. It has already been mentioned that we should involve the youth in designing the programs. But again, on the other side, which youth should we support when we are designing these programs? Because there's a mechanism, you could say, in which we can leverage on those resources. Some money has already been put by Haifa to support 10 groups. Kilimo Trust is coming in, you support another 10 groups, not the same groups so that you duplicate resources. Others can benefit from the little resources that we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being so brief and precise to the point and also accurate. Let's also bring in the country director for Heifer International, Mr. William.
Honorable Speaker and members present, at Heifer, we thank you very much, NTV, and the partners for which we implement the East Africa Youth Inclusion Program. And we most also appreciate the MasterCard Foundation for making this happen. If it weren't them, then we would not have been able to have this nature of conversation. The stage has been set. Everything has been said. I've never read or known about a world without challenges. It will never be smooth. But it's up to you as young people to use your energy, to use the advantage of your age, to use the opportunities that have been brought at your table to make life change for yourself and for your communities. It's up to you. Others are coming to support you, but it's you to make it. And we think with this kind of conversation, with this kind of support from government, from the media, from mass development partners, you will be able to assist us transform our country, and most important of all, transform agribusiness, because it's going to be the engine of growth for our country, for our nation, and for our continent, for God and my country. Thank you very much.
Mr. Matovu William, before you get off the hook, this program, I understand, is in 6 districts in Uganda. Are there plans to cover all of the districts within Uganda?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We had a commitment and kind of have a commitment from our donor to support the program in the 6 districts which were mentioned, 3 in eastern Uganda and 3 currently in central Uganda, and those were named. We hope and we pray that we'll be able to have more conversations with our donors to be able to extend the program, given the learnings we've gotten, to other parts of the country. But that aside, we're also working with other donors or funders or partners to be able to look at other initiatives like this in other parts of the country. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the country director for Heifer International, Mr. Matovu William, and special thanks to my chief whip and secretary, Chiwanuka and Maria, and you members of the audience. Many thanks for having been so responsive when we took out that call for you to come and engage in this discussion. Many thanks for having made the time to come and engage with us, NTV Uganda. And to you at home who has been watching, wherever you are, at the workplace, wherever you are, all over the globe. Many thanks for having made the time to watch NTV Uganda. Special thanks to the country director, Heifer International, Matovu Williams. Special thanks to the CEO, Kilimo Trust, that is Ms. Birungi Korataro, and all the private sector actors who made the time to come and engage the young people of WAKISO. And we do hope you did get all the advice and the resolutions that you needed to ensure that we improve your lives through job creation and entrepreneurship opportunities. My name is Romeo Busiku, and I hope you do understand what Heifer is doing within WAKISO. Remember, if you're a dropout, you can still join Heifer under the East Africa Youth Inclusion Program and get some soft skills that can help you move along with your life. Instead of getting into early marriages, very, very risky sexual situations. Yes, you can get some soft skills and join the agribusiness sector, courtesy of Heifer International and the East Africa Youth Inclusion Project. My name is Romeo Busiku, and that's it for the People's Parliament, the Youth Debate Edition. Let's do this again some other time. Have yourselves a blessed day.